So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all for today's webinar slash e-conference on transforming formulation R&D, data, digitalization, and beyond. Brought to you by Indian Chemical News, India's #1 news portal on chemical, petrochemical, and energy, and Revvity Signals, one of the most comprehensive platform of scientific software in the world. The chemical and the formulation industries are undergoing a paradigm shift in how products are developed. Formulation products spanning pharmaceuticals, paints, batteries, food, and beyond are central to our daily lives and ensuring their quality and performance demands rigorous R&D practices. With evolving regulations and rising expectations, digitalization in formulation R&D is no longer optional. The webinar will showcase how digital tools can streamline formulation R&D from planning, material management, and experiment to analytics and compliance. The speaker for today's webinar, we have Dr. Alok Khullar, Senior Technology Director, Pidilite Industries. He would be joining in a short while. A brief on our Dr. Alok Khullar. He is a passionate and business-focused and result-driven technology leader with excellent research and management skills with sound technical domain knowledge. He has patented more than 15 inventions and authored research and presented papers in the domain of polymers, agrochemicals, packaging, and inks. Dr. Khullar holds PhD degree from DRD and Jivaji University, BGDBA International Business from Symbiosis Center for Management Studies, Pune, and PGD Patent Law from Nalsar University, Hyderabad. Welcome, Dr. Alok Khullar. Dr. Kamlesh Pai Phondekar, Head R&D, Godrej Agrovet. He's heading the Research and Development and Nutrition Animal Feed Business, Godrej Agrovet, in short GAVL. Dr. Phondekar is responsible for driving the long-term as well as short-term innovation agenda for crop protection business and oil palm business, including Aztec Life Sciences Limited with the help of competent scientists. He completed his PhD in organic chemistry from Goa University in 1998 and also did graduation in production and supply academy from INSEAD, Paris. He has 30 years of experience in research and development. Thank you, sir, for being part of this panel discussion. Dr. Heathen Mehta, Head R&D, Chlor-Alkali, Aditya Birla Chemicals. Dr. Heathen Mehta holds Master of Science in Organic Chemistry and PhD in Chemistry. He has 20 plus years of experience in industrial research. His expertise include process development, intellectual properties, regulatory guidelines for various regions of API, specialty chemical, personal care actives, aluminum in chemistry, and application-focused product development. He has more than 20 patents and many research articles in national and international journals. Thank you, Dr. Heathen Mehta. Dr. Anil Kumar Soni, Head Application Development, R&D, Clariant Chemicals India. He has more than 20 years of industrial experience and worked in pharma, API, CRO, CDMO companies like Sai Life Sciences, Newland Laboratories, IICT, and Clariant India Limited. He has expertise in natural products isolation and chemical synthesis of flavonoid compounds. Soni has over 25 international publications published in international journals and conferences. He holds a PhD from Osmania University. Dr. Rupak Paul, welcome Dr. Anil Kumar Soni. Dr. Rupak Paul, Deputy General Manager, Formulation, Rallis, India. He has more than 15 years of research experience on agrochemicals formulation, surfactant, and adjuvant. He has developed several novel, innovative, and sustainable agro formulations using green solvent, vegetable oil, and water, and has applied for more than 10 patents in his name. Dr. Paul received his MSc and PhD degrees from Indian Agriculture Research Institute, IARI, New Delhi in 2005 and 2008, respectively. Thank you, Dr. Rupak Paul. Dr. Manish M. Khandagle, Senior Field Application Specialist, Revvity Signals. He is a Senior Field Application Specialist, Revvity Signals, and has extensive experience in pharmaceutical R&D and technical customer support roles in analytical instruments and scientific software industry. He is responsible for providing technical and strategic support to drive the company's mission of empowering scientists to make data-driven decisions by utilizing best-in-class informatics solution. Thank you all for participating in today's panel discussion. Next slide. The key discussion points that we are going to focus today is on formulation design and data capture, inventory and material management, workflow standardization and data integrity, data analytics and artificial intelligence possibilities, robust data management for quality and compliance, digital tools enabling sustainable formulations and green chemistry, and industry outlook on digital transformation. Next slide, please. This is the IC and play and win contest. This quiz will come after Dr. Manish M. Khandagle presentation. So listen to his presentation carefully. Just a brief about the contest. I will be asking questions from the audience during the course of the session, and the one who responds first with the correct answer stands eligible for winning rupees 1000 gift voucher from Amazon. All the questions will be asked by the moderator of the session, and replies need to be given in the chat window box of your respective screen on Zoom platform. I repeat, in the chat window, answers need to be given in the chat window box of the respective screen on Zoom platform. Final winners to be announced at the close of the e-conference session today at 4:30 p.m. Terms and condition, only the person with the correct answer responding first in order of priority shall be declared winner. Organizers and sponsor partner employees are not eligible to participate in the contest. Organizer decisions to be treated as final in case of any discrepancies. Gift vouchers to be sent electronically to all the winners post completion of the session. Next slide. So this is a slide on Indian Chemical News. Page views 2,40,000, users 1,02,000. Newsletter goes to 59,000 people daily. Monday to Saturday, open rate is 30% and click rate is 8%. Those who are not subscribing to the newsletter, I would request them to go to our website and subscribe to the newsletter. There is no cost, but you get to know what's happening in the industry, both global as well as India. LinkedIn followers is around 84,122. So this is just a short presentation from my side. And now I would request Dr. Manish M. Khandagle, Senior Field Application Specialist, Revvity Signals, to give his presentation. And followed by, we will have the quiz questions. So over to Dr. Manish M. Khandagle.
Thanks. Good afternoon, all, and welcome to our session, Transforming Formulations R&D, Data Digitalization, and beyond. And so, as Praveenji said, yeah, we are all surrounded by a variety of formulations in our day-to-day life. Okay, and uh, all these familiar products goes through rigorous R&D, the complex R&D journey, right? And anyone working in this space very well familiar with the challenges involved. And so this webinar will focus on how digital transformation can streamline this journey, and from structured data capture to powerful decision making, how it can help, because data driven decision making is the key to address all these challenges, right? And so I will start with three use cases that will show the value of data analytics in formulations, that will include ideation, then optimization cases. Two optimization cases I have, one from the coating and one from pharmaceuticals, and at the end, how you can track all the operations activities, okay, which is again important part of the R&D operations. And so, and follow these analytics use cases, we'll look at how Revvity Signals software enables end-to-end digitalization, and it opens the opportunities for data-driven decisions and beyond it. Okay, so without delays, going for the first use case, what we are showing here is ideation of application driven polymer and adhesives formulations. So in specialty chemicals or specialty formulations industry, often the product development starts with defined performance target, application needs, what customer needs. And here's an example how scientists can connect their in-house product knowledge with the for ideation of the desired product performance or new product development. And here you can see on the left side panel, what you can see is a hierarchical clustered heat map, which shows a variety of mechanical properties such as amodulus, elongation, strength of the materials, and for each of the formulation on the left side, this dendrogram shows you the all the formulations which are clustered based on the similarity of these properties, and then cells, it's a color coded with red, blue, red starting from high to blue as a lower side of these properties. And on the right side panel, what you can see is the thermal properties. And then we'll see how the correlation between these mechanical and thermal properties can provide better insights, help in finding right candidates for the target applications. So as you can see here with this heat map, with a quick glimpse, we can see different group of the formulations. Okay, and it has been clustered based on their similarity. You can see the patterns. For example, on the top side, what we can see are something materials with a high strength and those something which is maybe useful for the target applications of the structural formulations or bonding. If you see the bottom layer of these formulations, which is opposite to what you see on the top layer, which are more on softer and flexible characteristics, may be suitable for some elastomers, sealants, or vibration absorbing materials. So that's how reading these kind of heat map can give them quick glimpse at which direction to follow, how they can ideate, how they can connect their in-house product knowledge, and also where they need to improve the processes. So let's see how they can interact with these dashboards where they can look at these clusters, select the different group of materials or formulations, and they can see, as I said, here they can see the different group of materials. They can see the associated thermal properties. They can see where they need to improve the processes. For example, topmost is something indicates like everything is low and it's a failed formulation, and so they can look at the further thermal properties. They can look at the composition of the formulation, what composition was used, further analysis on viscosity and particle size analysis, and that can give them better insights if they need to improve some processes or for desired product performance, how they can make a new product. Okay, so that's how it's easier to access all your in-house knowledge, which is otherwise scattered, and with the scattered knowledge, chances of the opportunity is less. Okay. The next case which I'm going to show you is like how you can optimize anti-corrosive coating formulation. Here, the objective is to develop a coating formulation uh, for a bare metal or pre-treated steel surfaces. And a challenge is to balance gloss, corrosion resistance, adhesion, as well as environmental factors. So, the which anti-corrosive agents or additives being used. And so here, let's look at this example. So if you see, uh, multiple formulations were prepared, and all their experimental data as well as analysis data was brought together in one single interface, one single interactive interface. So the idea here is like when you are optimizing any of the formulation, you would like to have the side by side view of all the batches, compare different batches, their test results, their compositions, and that's how here bringing all this information can provide better insights for the next steps in the optimization. So it shows here, you can see number of formulations prepared with their compositions and their key KPIs for greenness, price, and percent residuals. Then they can look at the test results like a dry cross hatch and look at the specifications. Once they set the specifications, they can see which additive is giving a high adhesion, or which one is giving lower gloss. Correlate again with the proportion of this uh, additives used. Then after the coating performance, they can look at the anti-corrosion performance. So they can see corrosion performance by seeing different trials, how much uh, corrosion inhibitor has been added, and how the proportion is influencing all these properties. So that's how it can help you in applying design of experiments approach, bringing all the experiments, and then build hypothesis for the next trials. And that's how it can streamline your formulation optimization process, minimize the experimental work, and help you in making data-driven decisions in this kind of applied formulations. Right. So next example which we are looking is typical of generic formulations industry. So in this case, typically the aim is to formulated drug products with equivalent performance to the innovator product. Okay, so it's more about developing something which is bioequivalent and cost efficient and fast to market. And the comparison is with the innovator product. And here you can see this is a reference batch and about 8 batches been prepared. And in one single interactive dashboard, you can see the batch level data right from its compositions, its cost, its safety information, also the trade-offs between its cost and quality. And then you can compare this cluster analysis can compare the similarity between different batches for different taste performances. And as you build on new batches, keep on adding this data, it will keep clustering and then it keeps identifying which is the closest match to the reference batch. So that's how it can help you in making better decision between the best performance as well as the trade-offs between the cost and quality, and that can help you in optimization processes. So while doing all this R&D optimizations or ideation, all throughout this R&D processes, it is equally important to track operational efficiencies. And so that's where we are going to see in the next use case. So how in traditional R&Ds, tracking operational efficiencies, user activities, resource utilization is kind of challenge because compiling this data, recording all this information, uh, there are discrepancies in the on the whole process. So here's an example how this kind of like operations and activity tracking dashboard can help. So an example, all the activities. Let's say you have questions that I would like to see all the lab activities that are in progress in my lab. I would like to see all the resources being used. What are all different kind of experiments being performed and what are their turnaround times? Uh, from compliance point of view, you would like to see date and time stamps of all the activities and data integrity. So within this dashboard, what you can see it here, like I can track all different users, what activities they have been performing by week, month, or by year, and then look at much granular level by hourly basis or even a daily basis, which user is performing what activity and which experiments been performed. If they have deleted any of the experiments, any of the changed any of the experimental parts, what they have changed. So all these things I can track it here. While doing this, how they're collaborating with the different departments, user, to whom they collaborate more frequently, which resources they have been using. Also, like if they have changed anything, they can see this compliance point of view, the remarks for the changes, look at the material utilization, how they have been using inventory. So that's how it can help you in tracking all the operations. But to get this kind of insights, what you really need is like the fundamental to this dashboard. Like first, our majority of this data is coming from the uh, user community, scientist community, who are recording, generating data on a day-to-day basis. And there has to be consistency. There has to be structured data capture, and then only you can make sense out of this data, right? So when we look at all these kind of use cases, the data is mainly coming from uh, either a planning phase, a design phase, ideation. Uh, Throughout the processes, you need many different kind of materials, regardless of kind of industry you're working with. Every experimental work goes through this phases planning. You need to look at different kind of materials. Experimental works contributes a huge amount of data, and then every lab has some legacy systems. The data silos is the one problem you have seen. A lot of instrumental data comes. So challenge here is like in traditional labs, all this data is coming from the segregated, isolated systems, and it's unstructured, scattered data. And before making sense out of this data, very first you need to standardize this data, you have to contextualize it, you have to map all this data, and then you can make use of that aggregated data to make some sense. And this is a lot of manual work, a lot of tedious process is involved. And that's why if you look at this whole process, which is right from planning to execution, it's a design, make, test, decide process. And from design to decide process, you need one unified platform which can help you in streamline data capture from all these systems, which can aggregate all this data in real time, which can narrow down all your data, which can standardize data in real time, and then it can help you in making sense out of it by contextualizing this data. And that's where Revvity Signals One helps. Throughout this process, right from lab scale to the pilot and plant scale, you can have that scalability. So what it offers is like a cloud native SaaS R&D platform, okay, and uh, it can help you in a product development R&D workflows, right from the synthesis of formulations till analytical testing and scale up activities to the customer delivery. And as we see these four examples, regardless of the discipline of formulation R&D or any of the R&D, whether it's agrochemicals or it's dyes, adhesives, pharmaceuticals, uh, throughout the things we have seen common thing is like it goes through this design, make, test, decide cycle, series of cycles, and throughout the cycles, this platform can help with different products. So Signals One, which covers the ChemDraw, which brings the chemical intelligence, allows you in drawing chemical structures and understanding chemistry. Signals Notebook is a cloud native ELN, which helps in standardizing your data capture and collaboration, managing all the materials and inventory registrations. A lot of instruments are used in all these R&Ds, and that's where Signal One provides various approaches, and Signals DLX is which is powered by Cytara, which helps you in integrating various instruments with predefined connectors, and Spotfire, which brings a strong data analytics capabilities. On top of that, open APIs help you in connecting different kind of systems, legacy systems like SAP, your LIMS, and DMS systems, so you can connect with this. With this Signals One provides unified platform that helps right from the foundational work, data capture, till the decision support in analytics and the possibilities beyond it. So what it does, like in typical formulations R&D, it starts right from the design and planning phase, where at a project level you can allocate resources, look at different stakeholders, look at the materials that are required. So built-in inventory capabilities allows in looking at materials by site, location, or by container level. They can search for the required containers. If the material is not available, they can even place internal request, or they can initiate order request for their materials. So right from the searching the materials, placing orders, and then they can update all the material related information like it's a safety information, hazards, and then expiry date, lot number, cost, and all this information. So that's how it can help in entire materials management. Once the materials are ready, then scientists can start their experimental work, and they can start with their formulation trials. And when we talk about formulation trials, uh, the center with the bill of material or a recording formulations composition is central to any formulations R&D, irrespective of the formulations category that we have discussed in the beginning. And so this is a key requirements where how scientists can create experiment using predefined templates that can help in standardizing their data capture, and then they can record their bill of material formulations composition, where they can straight away query inventory and bring the materials that are required, or the container of that material, specify its role in that formulation. With built-in calculations, they can minimize the errors in these calculations. So this is an example of a coating material formulation, where again we can see a series of materials which they can fetch straight from the inventory and capture all hazards information, supplier, and all the calculations. Many times the formulations required variations, kind of screening optimization. So even they can create this kind of screening formulation variations using the system. So they can create different kind of variations, and then have the batch to batch view of their compositions and the samples that can help them in better plan next experiments and interpret the information. Correct? Once this formulation trials are done, the next step is like right from the planning and then data capture, and then it comes to more on the collaborative workflows. So how they can create those samples and get those samples tested from uh, different test groups or external testing facilities. So they can create samples out of these formulations, create containers for the samples and barcodes, QR codes for those containers that can help in managing, maintaining data integrity. And then these samples can be submitted along with a different kind of test requests. And then the system allows you in managing all these collaborative workflows where test requests can be created and tasks can be assigned to individual scientists or group of scientists, and where they can perform this scientists can perform analysis. Again, they can have their analysis template, predefined template, which again standardize the way they capture the data. For example, in this coding performance, I need all this information at the end for a decision phase. I would like to look at all this information. So there has to be consistency, the way it has been captured in day-to-day experiments. So that's where this predefined templates helps in standardizing this data capture, minimizing errors with predefined calculations. It eliminates those errors, and also they can connect with a different kind of instruments using either signals DLX or with open connectors or through APIs. Okay, and then finally, all this data they can manage compliance requirements with a different e-signature and then create a report. And then it comes like a last stage where all the required data, what questions they have for data analytics. So that kind of data they need to publish to the central data repository. So these results scientists can publish to the central data repository, Signals Data Factory, which is a data lake. And then that's where all this data gets contextualized, mapped in a real time. And then that will be useful for more advanced use cases, as I showed in the beginning, for advanced data analytics, or even it opens AI possibilities. So having this data centralized, so it can bring data from experiments, data processing, as well as from the inventory. So it syncs all this data together, and then it allows you to contextualize, build models on that data, or you can explore the possibilities of AI. So with this data, scientists can easily look at subset of data. They can filter out what they require. They can perform global search and filter out what data they need, and they can perform this kind of like visual analytics on that subset of data. So while visual analytics plays a key role in human-driven decision making, it's it also the major milestone for the to explore the next level possibilities. So having all this data, contextualized, structured data, also makes it like this with this kind of AI ready data, you can explore the possibilities of AI, like you can have the semantic search, AI copilots, or summarization assistants. You can build your AI ML models or AI driven design of experiments. So to explore this possibility, as we discussed, first thing is like you need to have um, standardized data. It needs to be aggregated. Okay. And then with this, you can explore the AI possibilities. Some examples, let's say, I mean, this is a Cygnus notebook, which is your ELN, and you can chat with your Cygnus notebook, just like a chat GPT, and say, hey, Cygnus notebook, let me know what are all activities happening today in laboratory, and it can fetch me data in a textual output, like, okay, these are all scientists performing these are all activities, and Manish has logged at this time, and these are all activities he's doing. And then I can further ask, okay, then tell me what specifically Manish is doing, and then it can again send me textual output that, okay, these are all experiments Manish has performed, and these are all observations, and so on. So then further I can write back, I can create a summary, I can write back to instrument to be able to explore these possibilities. When I say the title says is like data capture, digitalization, and beyond. So these are the possibilities just beyond digitalization. To explore these possibilities, first you need to clear the foundational layer. You need to standardize your data capture. And this whole process is not something which happens overnight, right? And it's a gradual process. And throughout this process, you need a trusted partner, So as a Revvity Signal, we work with many different customers. So we have over 1 million users worldwide, over 35 years of experience in this field, over 16 out of top 20 chemical companies and 6 out of top 20 agrochemicals companies we work with. We have over 750 employees and 4,000 plus customers, and we operate in all these fields, whether it's life sciences, specialty chemicals, food, flavors, fragrances, agrochemicals, and there are some of the key logos which you can see. We work with it. Okay, so Indian as well as the global customers. So with this, the value what we deliver, we help in unifying all this data, uh, enable faster, smarter search with real-time data augmentation, data intelligence, enhance collaboration. With a cloud native software, you can scale without limit, and it can accelerate your product R&D. So transforming formulations R&D is nothing but being connected, having intelligent data intelligence, and being future ready. So strategically integrating all these digital tools, data processes across the research cycle. That's how the R&Ds can go beyond digitalization and make faster, smarter, and AI-driven decisions. And with that, I would like to stop. For more information, you can visit our website, and we are happy to share more details. And let's look at the panel discussion here from our panelists about their industry-specific insights and how they are approaching digital transformation in formulations R&D. Thank you.
You are on mute, Pravinji.
Thank you, Dr. Manish M. Khandagle, for your presentation, and you have taken through the entire process of R&D formulation and how Revvity Signals solutions can help R&D people or the R&D team. Before we move to the panel discussions, let me put up the quiz questions. I will request Saurav, if you can, put it up in front of everybody. I request all of you to please type your answers in the chat window, not in any other window on the Zoom platform. So the first question for the ICN Play and Win contest is, what is the, if you can move to the next slide, what is the primary goal of digital transformation in R&D? A, reduce lab space. B, replace scientists. C, improve speed, data quality and decision making. And D, increase paperwork. How does hierarchical clustering in the first use case support formulation scientists? A, automatically choose the cheapest formulation. B, quickly identify product groups with similar performance behavior. C, predict ingredient prices. And D, eliminate testing steps entirely. Select the correct option for the capabilities offered by Signals One software. A, experiment execution and capture, inventory and material management, AI enhanced user experience. C, data analytics and visualization. D, and all of them. So we have a eminent panel today. Dr. Alok Kullar has joined from Pune. Dr. Kamlesh Pai Fondekar from Bombay. Dr. Hitan Mehta from Vilayat. Dr. Anil Kumar Soni from Hyderabad. Dr. Rupak Paul from Bangalore. Dr. Manish M. Khandagle from Bombay. And I have joined from Delhi. So let me straight away jump to the panel discussion. And the topic for today is R&D, transforming formulation R&D, data, digitalization, and beyond. So let me pose the first question to Dr. Alok ji, followed by Dr. Kamlesh ji and Dr. Anil Kumar Soni. I request short answers from them because we have a list of 11 questions to be answered and in a short time. So the first is the most critical implementation and data challenges you face today in formulation R&D, and how much do you still rely on traditional knowledge and spreadsheets versus structured data systems? So over to Dr. Alok Kullar.
Thanks, Manish and Pravinji. Pravinji, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So your question was that what are the most critical implementation and data challenges which you face? So for me, I think handling unstructured and scattered legacy data is one big challenge. And like there are a lot of lab notebooks, diaries, Excel sheets, and you have to collate the data from different sources. And then comes the complexity of the multivariate data. Like so many variables are there in the formulation, starting from additives, resins, co-resins, fillers, and other things. So how they interact, those kind of behavior sometimes get missed out. So understanding the interactions and capturing the complete data in a very rugged way, that is something which is a big challenge if we go by the say typical legacy style of working. And then of course proprietary data security, that is a big challenge in Indian industries as well as abroad also. So whatever information, scientific information we generate throughout the days or the years, that needs to be protected and kept confidential. And the other thing is uh, dealing with the non-standard data formats. Like if you have multiple labs within the same organization at multiple locations, the people have a very different way of working. Every individual have a tendency to follow a different kind of format. So that format standardization is a big challenge. And another thing which I observe is like integration of the analytical instrument data with the end results of the say experiments. So that linkage and the lineage, that is somewhere sometime missing by in the conventional way of working. So I really appreciate the Manish, the way he explained using these say advanced tools or the data management systems. Certainly, some of these things I believe they can be get rid of. And the challenge, another challenge is the gap between the digital literacy and the chemical knowledge. Like chemists, they have very good knowledge in chemistry, but some of them they don't have the IT knowledge. So that is a big challenge. Even if you have very advanced systems, how to upload the right information within the time, so that the data can be converted into the information. That is what we face certain sometimes these challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alokji. I move to Dr. Kamlesh Fondekar from Godrej.
Right. Thank you, Praveerji. I think as a Godrej Agrovet, we have 8 different businesses. So R&D in each businesses is very different, right? But let me take an example of a agrochemical R&D which we have. So if you really see in formulation R&D of agrochemical, one of the biggest challenge today what we have is the fragmentation of information across multiple formats and personal knowledge bases. Many formulation decisions still rely heavily on individual experiences, handwritten notebooks, Excel sheets, and this is not really centralized, and it becomes very difficult to access and compare or use effectively. I think the key data challenges what we have is the first thing is the raw material variability. Right, we use the different raw materials, whether it is actives, surfactants, so no different suppliers. So these variations really create a major problem when you develop the formulation. Then secondly, when you develop the formulation, it's important you scale it up to the pilot and to the commercial. And therefore, it's important to record the formulation composition, mixing parameters, equipment settings. I think these are the key part which we are still recording in a manual fashion, right? Then what is very important for the agrochemical formulation, I'm sure Dr. Paul will agree with me, is a lot of stability data management, because we want all the formulation to remain really stable at a different temperatures. We do the AHS studies, we do the cold studies, we do the CPAC tests, because we want the proper tracking of the stability under the different conditions, right? And this data is also very need to be very effective stability, because we require when we scale it up, this will also change. Then when it comes to any troubleshooting and root cause analysis, anything like this happens, then we are, for example, like if there is a phase separation, viscosity drift, crystallizations, then we start looking for the information, right? And this also drastically reduces the rework time and improve the probability of finding a right corrective actions. Now, one of the important challenge what we have is knowledge retention, because I see even today, we are all fairly dependent on the individuals, right? The significant of portion of the formulation expertise is experience based, and proper documentation, then rationale behind the decision, having the right knowledge. How do we keep it in? Because as the team member change, how do we really continuous improvement over time? This prevents really reinventing everybody's time. Also, the formulations in agrochemicals are highly regulated, and therefore, whatever we develop has to be, auditable, right? So, CIB-RC is a body which controls this. We need a lot of GLP data, and therefore, all this data needs to be highly, documented well. It should be auditable. And if I really look at the still what we do today is almost 60-70% of the formulation data happens in Excel sheets, shared drives, and internal Wikipedias, right? Even in advanced organizations. Now we heard from the Manish, how do we really take this forward? And if you really look at the emerging best practices, now already industry is moving towards the electronic notebook, LIMS, material databases, and to ensure the data flows seamlessly across the R&D, regulatory, and manufacturing. Now, the next frontier is building AI-ready structured databases. Manish also touched upon this, that combine the lab science with the field intelligence, enabling a faster and more precise formulation design. Ultimately, goal is to digitalize the traditional expertise, blending the wisdom of experimental formulation with the power of a data and analytics. Now, the adoption of a data bricks or a based data lakes to integrate the structured and unstructured data, use of some of the metadata tagging and data principles, development of digital formulation libraries is going to be the future. If you really look at, as an industry, we are shifting from the data collection to the data connection, turning a scattered knowledge into intelligent foundation for faster and more reliable information. That's what I can say from the agrochemical perspective.
Thank you, Dr. Kamlesh. I move to Dr. Anil Kumar Soni from Clariant. If you can unmute yourself, Dr. Anil.
Yeah, thanks Pravinji for providing me the opportunity, as well as thanks Kamleshi and Maniji for the nice inputs and the presentation. So coming back to the Habik, I think we have heard many challenges from them, but one thing I can say is that if you want to go for the digital transformation, so there are the four core elements which we need to focus and integrate it properly, like the people, the process, the technology, and the customer experience. Because I being the technical product manager for Clariant, so having the interaction with many clients across the globe, so a lot of inputs being received from the client to address the queries. So challenges mostly coming with respect to the customers addressing and meeting the requirements is, one is the data non-availability of, like I can say, sustainable data non-availability, I can say, quality data. Because if you see, in that majority comes on the raw material procurement, because most of the raw material which are procured not having the carbon footprint data, mostly 40 to 50%. So they don't have this data. So we have to depend on the vendors to provide this data. Second thing, there is a lack of the transparency and the openness from the suppliers, because they are not going to provide the lot of information, the required information to meet the requirements. And third, and the other part with respect to this, once the data comes also, there is a technical barrier, I can say, with respect to the complexity and the implementation. It's not that easy to implement the digital transformation on a right go. So it's need a lot of cultural and organizational changes. That the challenges what we can face during that time also is with respect to the technical skills and the expertise. Like we don't have the sufficient skills and expertise in handling the digital software and the so a lot of training and culture training and being needs to be implemented and given to the team, so that they can aware and go for the implementation in the digital transformation. And the one more other thing is we can see from the people side is that is resistance to implement this change, because most of the parameter additional data which can say are already established one, and the people were very reluctant to change. So it's not that easy to change the cultural change from the people's point of view. So not of trainings and brainstorming needs to be developed, and with supporting data with interaction with the team, so that the teams can be transparent, provide the support for the organization growth. That's all from my side. I think most of the things are covered from the team, so that's all.
So we thank you, Dr. Anil. We move apart from the challenges part. We move to uh, uh, say if somebody wants to start a digital transformation initiative, what would be his priority? Whether it is standardizing data capture, implementing inventory management, or establishing collaboration workflows, and if it is, why? So we move to Dr. Ethan Mehta. Ethan Mehta ji, your views, sir.
Thank you. First of all, uh, on behalf of Aditya Birla Chemicals, I'm pleased to get engaged with this industry peers in this Indian Chemical News webinar to explore that how this digitization for the overall R&D change in the formulation is very important. It's a very interesting and very important topic. So to answer your question, see, the basic fundamental, if I go like why we are looking for the digital transformation, and we have heard from Dr. Alok ji, Dr. Kamlesh ji, that basically we want to shift from person dependent approach to system driven research, enabling us to expand our horizon without limits. Okay, so that is a key fundamental what we want to achieve. And for this fundamental, while all the three pillars what you have indicated, like standardizing data capture, implementing inventory management, and establishing collaborative workflow from department to department at various scale, are all very crucial and important in this journey. The foundation lies in data standardization. See, until unless I don't really have the right format of the data, that again makes me the person driven, because the data is being captured by a person in his own perspective, in his own way of interpretation, and then again it becomes the interpretation depends on that particular person. So again I am dependent how the data will be seen. So standardization ensures the data when we become reliable, repeatable, usable across systems, and setting the stage for everything else that that follows later. Okay, like in pharma normally they call then original and accurate. So in all it's very important. And then if some person moves from the system, because the data is standardized, another can take it forward from that particular point. So I think that is the first step what we should look for. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hitanji. We move to the third part of it. This is on based on Revvity signal experience with formation labs at different stages of digital maturity. What data management patterns do you see today, and how do they progress toward a connected, integrated R&D ecosystem? Dr. Hitanji, some of your departments have been using it, so I am directing this question to you, and followed up with Dr. Manish M. Khandagle.
Thank you. So, as Dr. Manish has very nicely explained that how this AI and machine learning is taking the whole R&D to a next level. I do remember the days where the problem was coming from a particular customer in a particular meeting, then the business development will start discussing with the R&D. R&D will understand their perspective in their own way. They will interpret, they start giving a solution. That product will go for the sampling to the customer. The feedback will again come back, and so forth. From that, now the R&D people is becoming a techno commercial. As you have seen that when you are doing the formulation, you are taking the first batch, you ask your business development using the CRM system to give the project to the R&D, where what particular potential customer, their geometry, everything is visible, and then what are the different customers we can cater if we go with the overall this kind of formulation. So we can see the business potential. Now, again, taking it to a next level, you can see what kind of raw materials are available to achieve the same goal. What are the regulatory challenges in this particular country so that you can select the right set of raw materials. Again, you can do the paper costing. So before you go to the lab, you are having a fantastic overall view that how your product will look like. And then you start doing the trials, you capture the data systematically, and overall you go to the customer where you are in a way very confident that this particular solution, if the customer will start accepting for the application, then other things will practically already are being taken care of. So this becomes very, very important to shift and to expedite the overall activities what are happening in the R&D. And when we are calling that the country is growing towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, this becomes very important, the turnaround time and the quality what we are giving to the customers. Thank you.
Thank you, Hitanji. Dr. Manish, if you can add on whatever he has said.
Yeah, absolutely. I very much agree with industry perspectives which panelists provided, and we work with many different R&Ds on a day-to-day basis, right from their initial evaluations till implementation, looking at their requirements, understanding their workflows. And what we see, these challenges, what we discussed, are kind of universal. It's not for some territory or India, but we have seen this universally. And the challenges, as mainly what we see, is of course it starts right from the excels everywhere, scattered data not able to make sense, and then the next step is like, uh, as mentioned by sir, is like a lost knowledge because of the knowledge retention is lacking. If people leave or the knowledge is gone with that person, and then integration challenges. So this kind of challenges industry is facing. When we look at all these different kind of customers and their stages, what we see different stages is like very first foundational layer is like those who are still on Excel chows. They are having like a paper-based record keeping and some MS Office shared folders. The next level when we see, okay, they have started at some point solutions. So it's a mix of like their Excels and point solutions, but still these are creating data silos, not talking to each other. And then coming to the next level, like those who are implementing enterprise solutions and with more structured data capture and all this stage, we can say. I think this is a major milestone after which you can start thinking about how to have the connected laboratory, connected system. So you have started realizing benefits of structured data capture, and then you look for the integration opportunities, have connected intelligence, and then with that stage, then you are ready for the ultimate digital transformation advantage. That stage, which is like having a, ability to automate your decision making, having autonomous ideation, AI, ML, and this kind of possibilities. But when we see all these customers, most of the things what we see, majority of the customers, although we have seen a lot of awareness in recent times, majority of them are still stuck in initial two stages, which is on Excel and uh, data silos, and still they have to reach to the data standardization. And we have been working regularly. Of course, this process is not something which is happening one day, but we always, when we discuss with customers, we say like there has to be critical assessment of the real situation. So of course, everyone wants to reach to AI, ML, and all this thing, but also we need to have the critical evaluation that on where we are today, what is the level of maturity we have, and then have phase-wise approach, and that's how we help companies in reaching the ultimate stage by phase-wise approaches.
Thank you, Dr. Manish. Before we move to the fourth question, let me put the poll questions up front. This would be appearing on a little window on your delegate screen. So this is the first question, and I request you to give tick one of them. So you can see the screen. How are laboratory experiments and record primarily documented in your organization? You have to give a single choice. A, mostly manual paper, spreadsheets, shared drives. A mix. B is a mix of digital system but still siloed. C, advanced, centralized, searchable and integrated. And D, unsure, depends on team or site. There is no Amazon voucher for this, so I don't see that enthusiasm among the delegates. It's a very simple. So I request all of you to please answer so that it will help in terms of formulating solutions for your company. How are laboratory experiments and records primarily documented? You would all be aware, majority of you all from R&D. I will come back in a short time for the second and the third question. So in the meantime, let me now move to the panel discussion and ask the fourth part of the question, which is after talking about the challenges, then talking about the digital transformation story, now we are talking about the KPI. And when we talk about the KPI, we are trying to focus on what would be how do we define success of digital transformation in formulation R&D, and which KPIs indicate data foundation is working. To start with, Dr. Anil Kumar Soni, followed by Dr. Alok Khullarji.
Yeah. So I think once the system is set, I can say when the digital formation, format, data integration being established, then it is a time for the organization to start measuring the KPIs with respect to the what the organization achieved by implementing this. So there are key KPIs you can talk in front of with respect to the efficiency, I can say, the matrix where how much time was reduced in the development, process development, the time cycle, whether it has been reduced or not. We can also measure the resource utilization by the efficiency and the time cycle taken for the number of experiments which was formed. So whether it has been reduced or not. There is one of the way where we can able to measure. And the second, I can say, with respect to the quality and the innovation metrics, which I can say in the quality point of view, whether we are getting the first time right technology with the knowledge and expertise on the search, what we got and doing the experiments. That is one of the important, but because we don't want to do the repeat experiments so that we'll consume more time and there is no advantage for that. So using the expertise and the data presented, how to utilize that, so reduce the time cycle and do the first time right technology. Second thing is also else, because a lot of data being generated, so it helps in developing the novel products in quick time. We can say we can produce more products and it can help in launching the more products into the market. That helps in the growth of the organization, I can say. And second thing, third point I can say with respect to the specific data, I can say, like data integrity, data foundation, data collection, data acquisition. So all this data has to be integrated properly and see whether it has to be in an organized way. Now, the fourth point KPI, which I can say is that with respect to the organization, is respect to the impact on the business, with respect to the cost and the quality. How the cost being incurred and what is the advantage the organization is getting. So we can measure with respect to the cost as well as does the business which giving to the organization. So I think these are the key measure we can say. But going for the digital transformation, it's not like that one way we can go directly. So it can be implemented in a phase-wise manner, having the culture, everything set established there. Then we can have a perfect way of measuring the efficiency.
Thank you, Dr. Anil. Dr. Alok, if you can add on whatever Dr. Anil has said.
Yeah, Praveenji, your question is really very nice, and basically you are trying to understand like what is the way to define the success of digital transformation using by defining certain KPIs. So I also believe that whatever we can quantify, we can certainly improve it. So same way for digital transformation also there need to be certain KPIs, and otherwise digital transformation will remain just a buzzword unless effectiveness and success is measured through these KPIs. For me, the success of digitalization is basically equal to a perfect synchronization between the data, people, and the system, and not just the ad hoc installation of digital notebooks or softwares. So, digital transformation is working when the scientific community or the scientists, they spend more time in analyzing the data and interpreting the data rather than formatting the data, which normally in routine we see happening if the data digitalization has not been done. So when we capture, contextualize, and reuse the experimental data for experimental design and data analytics and validate the formulations, that is the true success of all this digital journey. So when we say KPIs, they should also reflect the speed of innovation, knowledge reuse, data-driven decision making, quality and regulatory compliances, collaborative efficiency of collaboration amongst the team, and of course the data security. So certain KPIs like for data availability, integrity can be like percentage of experiments with complete metadata, or say structure standardization of data, and time lag between the data generation and the availability for the analysis. These can be certain KPIs for understanding the availability of data. Same way for usability and connectivity, like how well the systems are integrated. So we can say like percentage of business system connected with data pipeline, or safety or regulatory backend this thing synergy, and search success rate. Like if you have a search query and you are able to get the information within few clicks, then you can say it is like meeting the expectation or it is beyond the expectation. So that rating can be given to that. Like user adoption rate, how comfortably users are adapting to this system of data digitalization. Is there any fear or the hesitation in adapting to it? So the percentage of the R&D staff using data platform, that can be one of the KPI. Another purpose of digitalization is like developing insight and reuse of the technical data. So for that also the KPI can be reuse rate of say past formulations, or predictive model utilization, how frequently we are able to do the predictive modeling of the data, and data quality index can be one of the KPI.
Thank you, Dr. Alokji. I now come to Dr. Rupak Paul and ask him about, sorry, how do teams currently share data and learnings, and how much knowledge is lost when people leave? Because everybody was talking about this because of non-structured or not standardization not being followed. So, to Dr. Rupak Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Pravinji, for giving me the opportunity to talk on this. So it is a very important aspect that how we are sharing data. Basically, if I have to consider our industry, I mean, really, we are sharing data maybe in a cloud, in a OneDrive form, in Excel, Word, PPT form. Okay, different SOPs and the report and all. So here some real-time data can be accessed and can be managed. But this is still in a very silo, and some form of the emails and apps, like sometimes we quickly check in the WhatsApp also, like a quick update. This is being between the groups, although it is not actually permissible. But yeah, for the quick access, people used to actually check between the R&D and the factories whether something is done or not. So that is there. And then sometimes the email review talk, data talk, and the knowledge which are shared over the different presentations, or the deep tech, or the tech talk. Several platforms are there to share the data inside. Okay, and learning also can be shared. The documentation practice, there are some repository, like central repository, where the certificate of registrations and all are actually kept and archived. So these are some form of data, as well as I must say that if mentoring and the onboarding, the senior members also talk on the various aspect of the formulations and the how nuances, how it happens actually, pass on to the juniors, and they also can be sometimes documented. So these are the mostly the ways, and we are actually capturing the data. And now the next very important question that you asked, that when the people leave, how much data actually is lost? This is very important. And I mean, there are magnitude of that. And I might say that tacit knowledge, which are not documented properly, are actually is prone to loss. That is the one, the insight, intuitions, and you can say the experience-based know-hows are not really captured. Sometimes, and these data are actually a big loss when a company, when some a person leaving the organization. Then sometimes the poor handover processes we have seen because of the notice period and ending those things. Sometimes a new person is also not on board. That time we have found that a lot of data can be lost. I mean, which are can be very critical actually in nature. So that is a very important aspect of it. Then lack of centralized repository for all the datas. Although we are using cloud and we are using some archives, but data backup is also very important. If it's not captured in the proper repository or in the cloud system, then that data, if the computer crashes or person leave with the sensitive data, then we actually feel that this data cannot be protected very easily. Then limited cross training between the different CFTs. When we have those data knowledges, some valuable knowledge can be a gap. And we estimate, and I found in the this figure actually, when I'm doing some research, that about 42% of the company's knowledge can be lost due to important employee leave in the organization. Back to you, Pravinji.
Very, very interesting data, sir. I hope this needs to be captured so that whatever time and money investment has gone in that particular person should not get lost when he moves to the next company. Coming to the sixth question, which is how to balance. There is always a pressure on doing fast experimentation, and whether it is marketing or whether the CEOs, they want everything happen too fast. So with the fast experiment, but then there is a need for compliance which needs to be taken care. Auditability is also another factor. Data integrity is another factor. So, sir, how do you balance these, and what tools help ensure traceability without slowing scientists down? And here I would request Dr. Kamlesh ji and Dr. Anil ji to give views. I would request you to be short and precise so that we are still at sixth and we still have five more to go. Over to Dr. Kamlesh ji and then to Dr. Anil. Sir, you are on mute, sir, if you can unmute.
Yeah. So I think, Praveenji, as you rightly said, we need everything yesterday, right? So, but definitely we need to balance the experimentation with the requirements of compliance, traceability, data integrity. And if you are especially working like in agrochemical, you also have a regulator coming into the picture, right? And to balance this is extremely important, but that should also not, limit the natural workflow of scientists, rather than treating the document as a separate and a time-consuming step. So basically, what we definitely need is a standardized experiment templates. I think ELN is a classic example where you can really have those ELN templates where you document all the data properly with the composition, order of addition. Well, classic example, right? And then you can really put these things forward. Also important is a real-time data entry. If we really do all the real-time data entry, then we don't miss any of this information, right? This reduces the risk of missing steps and relying on the memories of the scientists, as some of my fellow panelists mentioned about, right? And then the real-time documentation makes the results easier to replicate, support reliable troubleshooting. When stability or the performance issue arises, we can really tackle them very well. Important is also controlled reference material reports, right? So once we have these, the raw materials, where is it coming from? Where are the surfactant coming from? If we can really link it to the limbs, for example, ELN and limbs, we can really generate this data much more effectively. And what is also important, once we have all this in place, we also have a good defined approval and review workflow, so that scientists, whatever is done is documented well and it moves scientifically in a structured manner. So this takes care of the fast results, but also you are taking care of the regulatory requirements, right? Now the key is, how are you integrating R&D and quality systems which ensures end-to-end traceability from raw materials till it reaches the field trials or even the regulation, right? Now, what are the different strategies? We definitely require a ELN, right? The classic ones, so which you can really have a good plan. Then we also require a good automated experimental tracking. I think Manish talked about it. There are a lot of databases available with that. We also require, we need to embed compliance by design and not looking at, as a separate activity, right? So all this, if I think put together, my opinion here is, when compliance is built in the workflow, traceability becomes effortless, and the scientists really focus on the innovation and not documentation. I think this can be achieved with a fantastic digital priorities.
Well explained, Dr. Anil. If you can add on
Yeah, I think most of the point I think covered by Kamlesh. I just tell one two sentence. I can say in that, like important, very important, fast experimentation is nothing but we need to have a proper documentation and the traceability. So what with this will help us is that definitely it will help in increasing our research and developmental processes also, and we can launch the product in quick time. We can support to the regulatory challenges, the requirements, and we can ready for the audit, because when we have this digital data transformation is there, that we can easily face the audit. And definitely there are a lot of tools like already explained by Kamlesh and the Manish, like ELN, LMS, and automation system, which helps in maintaining the data integrity as well as the data integration. That's all from myself.
So we will take a short break and we will come up with the poll questions, the second one of the day. There are no prizes for this, but this will help in facilitating the solution provider. So that's the reason I'm asking these. So the question is, which of the following best describes your organization's biggest digital transformation priority? I repeat, which of the following best describes your organization's biggest digital transformation priority? A, transitioning from paper to ELN. B, integrating ELM, LIMS, and instruments. C, enhancing collaboration and knowledge sharing. D, enabling AI/ML for decision making. I request you to please type in your answers at the chat in the chat window. I would request others to also participate. I see around 137 participants in the room. So I would request them to please type in. These are MCQ questions. You have to just write A, B, C, or D against them. So in the meantime, the delegates will keep on typing their answers. I move to the seventh question, which is about material variability. And everybody has been talking about materials. Because if you are planning to do an experiment and the material is not available, it delays your entire process. So, which is making or breaking a formulation project. How to track material properties, batches, expiration, and usage today? Most of them have talked about it, but I would like to highlight on the improvements which would help reduce formulation errors or rework. So start with Dr. Rupak Paul and then Dr. Kamlesh Fondekarji.
Yeah, thank you again. So just the glimpse of how we do in the absolutely in the formulation, any type of formulation, material plays a very big role. Okay, so and the consistent batches, all successful development as well as making the reproducibility, it depends upon the material that we consume actually on the down upstream steps. So how do you actually get that consistent or record that? Basically, companies has various systems, like some companies are ERP system, some are SAP based and all, Oracle. So we in the R&D, what we practice is basically inputs the material and their information, batch number, expiration date, and their supplier details and all are, and given a unique number which can be traceable back if required for any time. But still it is in a very, very, not in a digitized form, still in a notebook form, as well as in some kind of spreadsheet or a shared document form. LIMS also tried and successfully can be integrated to capture those data, some of the outcomes of that. And manual log and spreadsheets are widely used in that. Then the COA and all the associate document that we get from the supplier also captured, but in a paper form mostly. The challenges we face in this are tremendous, sometimes very inconsistent data. Whatever we want, maybe not in the same place. So those inconsistency in the data recording actually make us very silo system, and the hindering the traceability many of the occasions, and also find the very limited real-time visibility, because sometimes data recordings can be not updated properly. So that's hindering the real-time visibility, and the loss of the contextual, because the handling the nuances, and when the scientists leave the organization, as I mentioned, so those datas are actually lost. So the improvement what you asked actually to me, absolutely I see Revvity system signals can be a very good digital platform, and LIMS as well as the ERP system can be integrated to make a very good system for the tracking, the real-time tracking of the material uses, their shelf life, as well as their property. Another way is the digital fingerprinting of the raw material, or the barcode kind of system, that we also get a glimpse of how the Revvity signals can also give away the barcode at the end, and that can be used. And automated alert is another thing. If there is a change in the material, should get a automated alert in the system, so that everything notified, and that can be taken care of. uh, Another thing is a internal audit. Sometimes cross-functional team can audit other team to find out the how the data are captured, whether every details are actually captured or not. So these are the some improvement I can see to have a better data capturing system. Back to you, Pravinji.
Thank you, Dr. Rupak. Kamleji, any additions to
Yeah, I
the
think Rupak ji had already covered a lot of things, but one of the most important thing what we see in a typical formulation R&D is the quality of the active ingredient what we use. Okay? We need a consistent purity. For example, impurity profile can really make or break your formulation, right? For the consistency, there are some impurities even at a ppm level. For example, if you have SC, CS or ZC formulation, they can promote a crystallization and leading to the thickening, caking, and formulation can fail over a period of time. Like for example, in EC formulation, these impurities can, give rise to a crystal formation, right? So, and then entire the stability of the formulation collapses. So that is very, very important for us. Same story with the surfactants, what we use, the properties of the surfactants needs to absolutely correct. But how do we really track it? We definitely require a batch log sheets, and Rupak ji already talked about. Absolutely sure about the COA. We need to also have the analytical system very well defined. So we really measure them, from time to time. So we use the right material. Also important is the expiry of the raw materials, right? This can really create a lot of problems for us. Then where the challenges still exist is very often data stored in Excel. So this really have a problem. But how do we really improve upon this? Again, what we need is a material master data integration, connecting with the ERP system to the R&D database. This can really help us. Can we have the no sensors or IoT integration? The real-time data, no, to taking to the experiments will be very, very important. Again, Rupati talked about the barcode systems can really help. What we also need is the predictive formulation models, like Manish already covered about it. So this can really take all the historical data and really predict the optimum ingredient substitutions here. And overall, what I can see, when material data becomes a part of the digital backbone, we move from the reactive troubleshooting to proactive formulation, consistency, speed, and quality. That's what I would like to say here.
Very well explained, sir. Active formulation models and reactive to proactive. Thank you, Dr. Kamlesh. Now I come to Dr. Manish. How does your company, which is Revvity Signal Solutions, help in better collaboration across multidisciplinary teams and integrate with other systems, including lab equipment and materials management for a more connected workflow? I request for short answers because we have still three more questions to go. Thank
Absolutely, absolutely. The short answer, if you say the collaboration, the fundamental to collaboration is ease of data access, how easily data flows within the systems, and trust between different stakeholders, right? And that's where Revvity Signals provides a unified platform which can be easily accessed. It brings all systems together, whether it's your materials not just sitting on the stores, but scientists working in lab, they have the visibility of what about the materials? Different teams can collaborate. Signal synergy is something like even CROs or third parties. You can collaborate with them seamlessly. So Revvity Signals focus mainly on enhancing data accessibility, collaboration, and compliance. And as uh, considering the time we have, time constraints, we have happy to discuss this more in detail.
So thank you, Dr. Manish. Now we come to the poll panel three question. And I would request all of you who have questions, please type in your questions also in the chat window so that we can take it after the Q&A. In the meantime, Saurabh, please put up the poll panel, poll questions number three. It is, how ready are you to take the next step in digital transformation? I repeat, how ready are you to take the next step in digital transformation? A, we see the need, but haven't initiated formal efforts yet. B, we are exploring options and aligning internally. C, we are actively engaged and are already in implementing new digital solutions. D, not planned in the near term. So this is the poll number three. I will repeat, how ready are you to take the next steps in digital transformation? Those of you who have not, I would request them to please initiate this because that will help you in improved quality, time reduction, and also cost reduction. As Kamlesh ji talked about, predictive formulation models will definitely help in more of a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach. Coming back to the, now we have another three set of questions and we will try to, we are already at 4:27. We will try to extend by 15 minutes so that we can also manage both the three questions as well as the Q&A part of it. The question number 9 is, how does advanced data analytics help in robust data strategies, thereby enabling smarter decision making, improved compliance, and accelerated innovation in formulation R&D? I would request first Dr. Heathen Mehta and then followed by Dr. Alok Kullar. Sir, your short answers for this, Dr. Heathen Mehta.
Sure. Thank you. Very interestingly, see, for a technical guy, the most challenging part is to explain how that particular solution is going to be useful to the CEO or CFO. Okay. And in this, the digital tools and analytics becomes the fantastic platform where you can see that from now the literature search, patent search, infringement, non-infringement, regulatory, life cycle analysis, and finally the product what you are ready with to offer, and some commercial data in terms of the raw material cost and the COP. All are captured, and with that screenshot, now the software will do the talking, then the scientist, which will help to take the decision very quickly. And I think that is the most exciting phase in which we as an industry are. It's more about to just cultivate this culture and make everyone motivated about where we are to use this AI platforms. Thank you.
Dr. Alok ji, any additions to whatever Dr. Heathen has said?
Sir, I feel that advanced data analytics it can certainly help in a very great way, like for robust data strategies. And You see, we most of us are not like Shakuntala Devi. We have limited limitations of say mental calculations. So I'll go a little in the reverse order. What are the advanced analytical tools which we normally talk about, like for formulation chemistry? It can be multivariate data analysis, design of experiment, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python, molecular modeling, SciFinders, then like other digital twin kind of data or Power BI. So if you see both of these technologies, they are basically there to help us in identification of multiple variables and then converting data into the information. So for me, I feel that the multiple advantages of advanced data analytics and formulation can be narrowed down to like it allows overcoming the human brain limitations in dealing with multivariate data analysis and converting data into information, ensuring long-term usage and making way for seamless collaboration at low cost. So these are the advantages which I see, like low cost, seamless collaboration, long-term usage, data information, and of course data security. And the topmost is multivariate data analysis. Like there are so many variables. If you go for full factorial experimentation, it is rather impossible to keep track of all those experiments and carry out analysis of variance and all those kind of things manually. So if data is structured, all these analysis can be done at the back end very easily. You can design your experiment, carry out, check the data inconsistencies, detect the outliers. So all those things become little easy when we go for the data analytics. And yeah, and the screening of non-compliant raw materials, identifying the CMR category materials at a very early stage of usage. All those things have become rather easy when we go for using these advanced tools. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I come to Dr. Rupak. Dr. Rupak, there is a lot of, I say, excitement, and there is also a lot of fear about AI and ML. Though ChatGPT is what we can say offering services in India free of cost, so that they would like to build a model based on the data that they would be collecting. So my question to you scientist is, from your perspective, what percentage of companies have the digital foundation for it? And what's the gap between AI aspirations and current digital readiness? And do you see do you see AI and ML taking your role in near future, or you still would be there, because we are seeing a lot of job losses in other verticals and other sectors?
Yeah. It's a great question, actually. I mean, when I research on this, particularly how much adoption of this, or it is a really buzzword, AI and ML. In formulation aspect, overall, I see Accenture has done a good research on it and survey, and they find that 16% of the companies have so far in 2024 has been adopted the AI-led, which is up from the 9% in the year 2023. So there is a definitely catch up on the in this aspect, and those company which are considered to be innovation ready, they are basically ahead of the time, and they are really wanted to have this AI and ML integrated to their research. But many organizations are still lagging. The same research, same survey, described that the 61% of the companies' data are not really AI generative AI, and 70% are facing really challenge to scaling this AI project to rely on this data, and 82% of the early stage companies have no they have no implemented the talent strategy to support the AI, because it only happens when your talent and strategy combine, and this AI ML can do the wonder, actually. And similarly, another report I found where the Gardner saying that 63% of the organization do not have or unsure about the right data, and the AI project will actually fail in 2026 due to the lack of the AI readiness. So the gap we identified between the aspiration of AI ML and digital readiness to the real picture, actually, because of the data which we are using nowadays, maybe maturity level is very low, and the clean it needs a lot of clean and very structured data to assess to through this AI ML. Otherwise it is difficult. Second one is a talent gap, as somebody mentioned already. Then upskilling is required too much data scientists and the formulation guys to hands on together to match the gap. And lack of strategy also, I find many companies where pursue AI, but on the back of that, robust digital transformation strategy is not there in place. Another one is a legacy system and the poor interpretability. Those are the some technological challenges, integration challenges, where we can see the aspiration of AI ML and digital proficiency is also a little bit of behind as on today's thing. But nevertheless, there are these are catching up very fast. I'm also feel in another 5 years down the line, things will be completely different story, and we have to as a scientist or as a formulation specialist, we also upskill ourselves to enable that. I think AI ML is not to replace scientists, but to help us. It's a tool to help us to innovation faster, and all we talk about these days. Thank you very much.
I was speaking to somebody and he said that what we were doing in 1 year, we can do it in a quarter. So that's an advantage of AI and ML, which will help you. And it will also help in coming out with newer products faster, and also reduce the time cycle, and also will help you to also reduce the cost. We come to the last, and I think Dr. Manish will give his last views on this. This is about how does Revvity Signals enable formulation R&D across different application sectors, and how do you plan to use emerging technologies? It's the same question, but it was from a manufacturing perspective. Now I'm asking from a solutions provider perspective. In the meantime, I would request you to please type in your questions in the chat window. Some of them have typed in the Q&A window, so that we can take it up after this last word from Dr. Manish Khandagle.
Thank you, Pravinji. And again, in interest of time, I'll keep it short. And it's very much like most of the panelists, they have discussed the need of the formulations industry, which is having structured data, looking at the materials, compliance, enhanced collaboration. These are the burning challenges. And we work with the customers from all different application sectors, whether it's agro, pharma, adhesives, and paints. And the requirements are foundational requirements are same. How efficiently scientists can access the data, how they can easily adapt that system, how they can capture their day-to-day scientific data in a structured manner, how they can manage all the materials. And this is where we help scientists in streamline their complete workflow. Our strategy is it's not only about bringing them to a structured data level, but to enable them to take advantage of the future possibilities, AI readiness, allowing them to have AI ready data so that they can take advantage of this emerging technologies where they can do the within Signals One software, they can perform semantic search, they can do the summarization. We are continuously working on new AI driven product developments where they can have the AI driven design of experiments for formulations. So it is not going to replace the scientists, but it's just to enhance their efficiency. And so that's how it's a stages, different stages we are working with them. And then at the same time, we're working on emerging technologies, materials management as it was discussed, like accessibility again as the point one which we missed is like, of course the materials is crucial throughout the process, but most of the time even the systems, if the companies have SAP system, the materials are sitting in the stores, but the person who is working in R&D, they should have greater visibility, and there is a gap. So that's where we are also working on we provide Signals inventory which tracks the material, but at the same time we're working on the mobile based apps where you can track all your inventory, so you have the easy access to all your materials. And this is all possible with our cloud native architecture. And again, happy to discuss more in detail. Visit our website, and we can discuss it more in detail. We can get in touch. Okay. Thanks again to all the panelists and Pravinji. And let's see if we have any questions from audience.
So thank you, Dr. Manish Khandagle. One last thing that I would like to add is scientists will be replaced only when you will have robots in the lab. And I do not see any robots doing all the activities uh, in the lab with respect to formulation or any other activity that we need to do, because it's not only about performing the operations, it is also about the intelligence which needs to be checked each and every time, and it cannot happen only with the sensors but also with the gray matter that these scientists have, and they can, and so that we can come up with products which are more sustainable, which are more less water consumable, and helps the environment in a better way. With that, I would like to thank all my panelists for what we can say, for giving a bit deep insights on the activities of R&D formulation. Dr. Alok Khullar, Senior Technology Leader, Pidilite Industries. Dr. Kamlesh Pai Phondekar, Head R&D, Godrej Agrovet. Dr. Hitan Mehta, Head R&D, Chlor-alkali, Aditya Birla Chemicals. Dr. Anil Kumar Soni, Head Application Development R&D, Clarion Chemicals. Dr. Rupak Paul, Deputy General Manager, Formulation Rallis India. Dr. Manish M. Khandagle, Senior Field Application Specialist, Revvity Signals. Before I announce the winners, let me take up a few questions which have come up. There is a question from Mr. Aniket Rode. We have implemented LIMS in R&D, pharma, and successfully go live for stability management, inventory management, analytical validation module, lot management, QMS, DMS, and uh, and interfacing. So I don't know what's the question that this gentleman has. He just talks about that he has implemented this, and in the pharma sector that he's focusing in on. I come to the next part, which is Krishnakant Kotaru. Integrating QMS, DMS data is ideal. Is it an ideal approach? So who will take this up? Integrating QMS, DMS, and data is an ideal approach. Dr. Manish, if you can.
Yeah, again, I would say, I mean, rather than calling these systems as a QMS, DMS, we need to focus on what is really expected, what we really need to achieve, rather than talking about this system. Okay, so if it is a DMS, what are your R&D workflows? How you manage your R&D documents? If you're looking at a QMS system, so first thing, you don't try to build everything in one system, and only thing, if you have necessity, you should have a better connectivity between these systems. Don't try to have one system which can do every single thing. And when it's ultimate requirement, you connect, and that's where you can have the open APIs, you can connect with the systems, but try not to make it too complicated that it becomes a bottleneck in your R&D.
The next question is from Prasanjit Saha. How are outliers of data evaluated? Hitanji, would you like to take this?
Yeah, so it's practically see that again becomes a very straight integrity and system driven approach where you at the end of the day cannot really make the data which is not practically viable. It is traceable and can be easily uh, what you can say identifiable, that okay, if you have done something like if you are adding acid to acid and you are writing that the pH is increasing in a very very generic way, practically anyone can pick it. In the same way, formulation, the basic science always remains with the scientist, so you cannot practically outline here.
So my next question this question is by Punita Iyengar. Has the feature of having accessibility on multiple platforms to share information become a boon or a bane for R&D? Because it seems the more we make data available and accessible easily, the more data sources we need to keep in our data architecture for cutting edge AI-based solution. So it's a syndrome that she's talking about, that the more data we keep on keeping, that data is keeping on increasing every time. So
See, interestingly, Manish, this Prashant ji, currently we have discussed that we are at one side thinking that the scientists will be losing the job because of the AI and ML, right? And other side, you are worrying about generating more data. See, you are generating more data, which will give you more access for more formulations and more opportunities. So that will become a new job for the R&D scientists, that generate as much data as you can. Then in the previous time, just going with 2 3 formulations in the lab and just expecting the fate will do rest of the things. Now you are having opportunity where you can generate data, use a system, and make a fantastic library which will help you as well as the future generations. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
just to add on that, yeah. So we have a bandwidth for every company. Like we cannot have so many employee to add and so many project to work on. So this will help us to increase our bandwidth.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rupak ji. Mr. Subhas Naste is talking about what is acceptability of the digital data in intellectual property management and disputes. Dr. Kamlesh ji or Dr. Alok ji? Short answer, sir.
Yeah, actually, as long as the data is stamped at the backend, like when you are uploading the data and the dates are getting also punched there, then in any code of law, you can always claim the priority rights. I think the question is directly that suppose there is a conflict of interest, or if somebody has filed a patent, how the priority will be proven, and or even for the audit trail also. So that data stamping is already done as soon as you upload the data.
Dr. Kamlesh ji, sir, your views?
Just to add here, I think with a more digital or electronic notebook, data is much more reliable. So in a court of the law, when you have any discrepancies regarding the patterns, I think this is much more reliable now as compared to the earlier notebook. So I don't see any challenge here.
Mr. Lokesh Rohela is posing a question to us. Like in organic synthesis, there are software to synthesize a particular structure. Are there any tools in formulation science, such as what surfactant is required for suspension stabilization of a defined active ingredient? So I request Dr. Alok, Dr. Anil Kumar Soni, if you can respond to this.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of tools were available. So a lot of data has also been there. So based on the data only, the trials being done. So it's not like that there will be a challenging in defining the things. So the lot of data is available in the system. So we can just need to just do and permutation and combination and try to hit the right combination.
One question is from Mr. Sanjay Pandey. What is the security about the data if uploaded in the cloud? Is it secure? I think we are all your banking data, all your Aadhaar data, and all your passport data, all are there in the cloud. So if we what we can say, question the cloud, and we cannot say everything is secure, but majority of them are secure. So I would request Dr. Manish, if you can throw some light on this.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And we, as I said, we work with companies which are security is the major concern for them, and we are a cloud native solution provider, and we take data security very seriously. It has multi-layered approach. We look at like SOC 2 compliance, ISO, and all these kind of certifications we follow. It's like AI-based endpoint protections. It has automated backups. So it takes measures of all these securities, and we are working with global pharma companies, agrochemical companies, and as I said, post-COVID, we have seen uh, dramatic shift in cloud. Before that situation was different, but post-COVID, we have seen companies are agreeing to move on a cloud system. Recently, we have seen a lot of security attacks, and that is causing like people are agreeing on moving on a cloud and putting their data on this cloud systems.
There are two more questions. One is about how could AI help us predict product performance. We have talked about this, and this is by Raghuveer Talam. We have talked about it in detail, so I would not like to take it up again. The next question is from Mr. Dipankar Maiti, and this is addressed to Manish ji. How to incorporate the product sustainability and carbon footprint data in the data analysis?
Yeah, I mean, again, when we say sustainability, it's more about if we see who we can uh, repurposing your knowledge itself is a sustainability. You are minimizing your experimental waste and resources wasted on the experiments, so you can repurpose. You are moving on a cloud-based system, so you are minimizing initial hardware investments and e-waste. So that is another sustainability factor you can have. Having better traceability, visibility on your data, chemicals, its toxicity, all this like uh, ease of access and data visibility can benefit you in a sustainable science.
Shailesh talks about what are the challenges to utilize existing automation system software adopted already to lined up with AI. I think we have had a good discussion on this. So we have tried to answer almost all of them, and I see 109 participants in our. They are eagerly waiting for the winners. Who has won? Let me announce the winners. So for question one, it is Harish Ajmera, professor slash research scientist from Croda Chemicals India Private Limited. A big round of applause for him. The second is for the second question, it is Jitendra Verma, manager slash supervisor, PI Industries Limited. And the third is a consultant, Mr. Kunal Patil, engineer consultant, Accenture Solutions Private Limited. So congratulations to Harish Ajmera, Jitendra Verma, and Kunal Patil. So let me do the vote of thanks, as they say. Let me congratulate all the winners. Let me thank all the speakers who took time out from the busy schedule and spoke in great detail to explain you how this can be catered to. I think it was a good learning experience from all of you. They have been all are out here doctors, and I'm still a graduate. So I learned a lot from all the scientists out here. I hope you would have learned also the same. Let me thank all delegates who participated in this event. Those who have not been able to join due to some reason or the other, you can ask your friends to visit Indian Chemical News website. And on the event, if you see post events, all these will be posted. The video will be posted. Even the news will be posted. So you can visit and have a look at it. Let me thank team ICN for again taking this webinar and making it successful, a grand success. So let me thank you once again, Dr. Alok ji, Dr. Kamlesh ji, Dr. Hitan Mehta, Dr. Anil ji, Dr. Rupak ji, Dr. Manish ji, for being part of this panel discussion. So we will meet again with a new topic. Till then, goodbye and namaste.